Hello. So I'm here to talk about Chaba. So Chaba got a rework recently, and when he was first released, for first reworked, I said it wasn't good enough. And I kind of talked to the devs a bit, but one of the devs, or I guess they couldn't because the CMs, I guess, right? He has a direct link to the devs anyway. But he said the goal of the devs for Chaba was to make him the best, quote, best fair tank. And I don't know if that's even possible. I kind of talked to Andrew about this being like, I don't think fair tanks are a thing in this game. Like, not since Sebastian was released. But the release of Sebastian, like, there just hasn't been fair tanks. I don't think they will come back. I don't think making Chaba stronger is going to do that unless they really boost his damage or something. And that's just my opinion. But I mean, I just don't see why you as a new player, if you were a new player of this game, why would you want to develop Chaba as your main tank over, say, Aurora or Lyria? Like, Lyria's not a, quote, tank, but she's good enough to fill the tank role that you don't need a real tank a lot of times. I mean, 900k health is pretty good. But like, one of the heroes they said Chaba's good against specifically were Ishmael and Lara. So I'm just gonna put this up here. So it's actually pretty long, like what he said, but so I'm just gonna squeeze up here for a minute here. I'm not gonna read it, but he talked about like Chaba being like good at taking a punch versus Ishmael and Lara, which sounds good, but because Chaba's, quote, a fair tank, he has almost no damage potential. It's kind of like Ziri could maybe take a hit, but like she has no damage potential and she disappears, which kind of makes any upside she has like just completely negated. Astaroth used to be super good right up until Sebastian was released and made him irrelevant along with fair tanks. So yeah, but like a team like this with Lyria, Ishmael, Sebastian, Lara, and Fafnir, you'll see a team like this a lot, right? So if you use like a Chaba team, I actually did this with like Aurora and stuff, like, so, right, a lot of times people would recommend Aurora for this. So right, this team I was using Aurora, but the key to beating Ishmael usually is Amira and Heidi. You need to have a good team with Amira and Heidi, but we're using all of our Patreon Aurora, and we have Aiden here to support her. And we're just doing replays because, my gosh, the game will not load fights for me properly. And it's just easier doing replays. Like I said, I'd like to just do like actual battles again. But it's the other reason I'm ending the Let's Play series. I'm having so many issues. But we're getting some dodge buffs. Like I said, the combination of the Aurora puts up her own dodge buff, which is enough to help Heidi combo out. And the combination of Aurora and Heidi, we now have 6 dodge buffs going, 7 dodge buffs going, 8 dodge buffs going. So it's like even against Larry, like it's just, I've actually done videos about like how Heidi doesn't care too much about Larry, but we can totally get a win without Chaba. Like, you don't need Chaba to win against Lara Croft and Ishmael teams. You don't necessarily need Chaba, and honestly, my go-to is usually to use Christa as tank against a team like this. I actually usually use Christa. Where is Christa? Because that's my go-to, is Christa, just because she has an ice shield. Makes her very good as a tank, but you would still use Heidi and Amira. I'd probably use Celeste tank, because Christa doesn't need Aiden, but I'd use... Where's Heidi? I'd probably still try to use Heidi. Heidi's further back in this line, so probably has a bit better time just trying to... has less issues keeping the dodge buffs up, because they're less likely to be affected by Lyra's aura. But this team probably works too. Alright, so this is what we use. Should probably put auto on too. But this is like generally like the kind of line I would use versus like that line like that. Okay, well, Sebastian's got hit with the things it's done. But Christa is such a tank, like, because she gets that ice shield, and it's just, she is, like, honestly, probably better at being a, quote, fair tank than Chaba, because she just, for, like, frontal assault characters like Ishmael and Lara, she is so good at it. I feel like it's that, plus she has that option that if you develop Lara's as well, you can combo off with the twins there, like, super good as attacking teams, but, like, we're just absolutely mopping the floor here with this line. This line's super good. Like, this line's super good against, like, Ishmael teams. I call it the Critter Mash. I've done a video on this team, too. I called it the Critter Masher. Yeah, like, look, we absolutely mopped the floor with Christa as the tank here. As a, quote, tank. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but she's, I think, better at just being a, quote, fair tank than Chaba. And since I've been having, like, lots of issues, I've been having to redo the fights. It's such a pain to actually do a live fight. I had to start the fight, and then it froze. Then I had to reload the game, and then start the fight again. And then I accidentally loaded the wrong team. I didn't have the right team. I had Aiden, and they're like, oh gosh, so I had to do it again. I have to load the fight before full screen. I can't load the fight and full screen, so it's a pain. But we're just gonna load this Chaba. I think Chaba. No, I think this one's the Chaba fight. Alright, so we have Chaba here. I'm using Aiden, which probably might be a bit better if I use Celeste here, but we're just doing Chaba. Just kind of, this was like for like with the Aurora team. But even with Aiden, like, Chaba's taking hits harder than Christa. Like, because Chaba does not have the ice shield to protect him from his crits, so he does take some pretty good crits occasionally here. But he does have the self-regen while he's digesting a hero. So he's tough that way, but he definitely is taking harder hits than Christa is. And yeah, said Lara Croft, like said, she heals too. She's honestly, a lot of teams, she's like the only healer you really need on a lot of teams. Like, but like, look, Chaba's like taking a lot of damage, and Heidi dies. Doesn't have the extra dodge support from Aurora. So actually Heidi dies there, but we do get some kills here with Amira. It's just Ishmael, and you hope they can get it. I mean, if Heidi's still here, this fight's probably over, but Heidi didn't make it, so Heidi didn't dodge when he needed to dodge. And then Chaba eats Ishmael, which does some pure damage, but then again, the rest of your team can't attack Ishmael while that's happening. So might not be that good, but maybe, just maybe, things will work out here. Like, if we replace Aiden with Celeste, maybe this team does a bit better. On the other hand, Aiden is probably better at keeping a main tank up than Celeste. I think Celeste is a better hero in general, but for keeping a main tank up, I think Aiden's better. We can try this with Celeste, see if it does better here, but we're running out of time here. We still haven't killed Ishmael. Like, we're taking the hits. Like, Chaba could take the hit, but can we actually get the win? Like, that's the thing. Like, being able to take a hit's fine, but being a fair tank, the quote fair tank, like, what else do you bring to the table? Chaba doesn't bring damage to the table. Doesn't really, like, set. I mean, I just feel like Chaba, like, why would we develop Chaba? Like, I just don't feel like Chaba has enough upside to develop. Like, open, we ran out of time. Ran out of time. Chaba, less than 1 million damage. Did more than Christa, but this fight lasted, like, 4 times as long. The fight with Christa tank, like, ended in, like, 30 seconds. But let's see if we can get this here to start. Let's see if we can start a fight with the same line, but this time we'll use Celeste. I think Celeste might be better for a hero like Chaba, maybe, if Chaba can survive. Yeah, without the extra dodge, like I said, Aurora's, like, even, like, quote, gets countered by, like, Aurora gets, quote, countered by Lyria, but her ability to still put up an ult that adds dodge gives good support to Heidi, who's also trying to buff dodge, and the combination is what allowed a big part of that win there. Chaba does not do that, so I think we just do Merlin here, so, like, don't know if I like that, but more like for like is having, because we had Aiden Merlin and Axel was on Amira, so this is more like for like. Alright, let's see how it does with Celeste instead of Aiden. Celeste does a bit more damage. Well, it does quite a bit more damage than Aiden, so. Sebastian, come on. Oh, we didn't auto shoot. That was a mistake. Yeah, that was a mistake. Sorry, guys. Didn't turn it auto, but I said Celeste is pretty good. It's doing pretty good at keeping Chaba alive, so I think we're fine. Wasn't a critical mistake. I don't think we need to rerun the fight, so I think we're fine. So Celeste is getting hit with these things, which I don't think is good, because she just put Cursed Flame on this side, and then can she even? Okay, they popped on. I don't think she can even kill those things, when she's in light mode. Okay, no, Celeste died. Yeah, no, Christa does better. Krista's a better, quote, fair tank than Chaba. Like, look at this. We're getting, like, Chaba's dying here. He takes hits way worse than Christa. Oh, nope. Couldn't get a win here. I did mess up a bit of the fight, but we ended up getting, like I said, I don't think it was enough. It wasn't too late of an auto. I think we were fine. I don't think it changed too much, and it's too much a pain in the butt to actually load fights. But you just kind of see like the weakness of Chaba. There's probably lines where you could make Chaba work, but I'm like, I don't see a point in developing Chaba when Aurora's just gonna be better. Like, Aurora will like pretty much curb stomp any team that doesn't have Lyria, and even as you saw earlier, she can even beat a good number of the Lyria teams. I mean, Lyria makes it harder for her, but she's not completely busted. And alternatively, you could just develop Lyria as your main tank. Like, Lyria isn't, quote, a tank, but she's good enough in that role that you could probably develop Lyria as your, quote, only tank, and probably be fine. I mean, she's definitely a better investment than Chaba. So I just, like I said, my previous video, I still don't think Chaba's good enough. I think it's interesting you want a fair tank, but if you want a fair tank, I mean, Christa does the job better. So anyway, not too much more to say on this one. If you missed my previous video about how I felt like Chaba wasn't good enough, you want to see some other tests and stuff from different lines, you can check it out down below. As always, thank you for watching.